Hey, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm to the channel providing a stream. Oh, how's everybody doing? Um, we are definitely in a space where we have to go through some measures, things and a little bit technical crazy. Welcome to Red Flags. It's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush. I pray all is well. Um, I have to fix it later. Hello, somebody. What I can't change at this moment, I will change later. But that's okay. That's the way of life. That's how life moves. That's how life generates its situations for us. You with your boy, the Prophet B. Kush, the late night get right. Come on now, we can talk about it. We have the call in line. Don't not take advantage of this opportunity. Amen. 718-622-2674. 718-622-2674. We're here, thank God, another day, right? We're here and we gonna try to make the best of our time with you. This is the hour where you got the power. Come on, where you can do what you want to do in terms of speak with someone to do sound advice in what you might be going through or what you might be experiencing within a relationship or a marriage, just making use of having an ear. Come on, somebody, because so many of us is in spaces where we just didn't have an ear, and that led to other mistakes. So that led to us not seeing or taking advantage of things that we could have taken advantage of. And so I provide, myself as a person who will, be here for his people. Come on, somebody. That's what I'm praying this works out to. And, everyone can definitely, take advantage of. I'm just trying to make sure that my stuff is circulating the way it's supposed to. And it's quite naturally not doing it exactly the way it's supposed to, but it's okay. Come on, God is good. Come on, somebody. God is good. And so we're going to keep moving. Um, Tonight, we're going to have a good conversation. This one is probably going to be one for the books in terms of, what we think, what we say, how we feel about certain things. Where you got the power. At the end of the day, I had to hook it up so in case anybody, wanted to leave a comment, I can see the comment. Come on, somebody. So excuse me for moving all over the place, but I am definitely here, and hopefully I can get it to act right. All right, there we go. What we're going to talk about tonight is simple. It's something that's age old and everyone understands it. Some pay attention to it, some don't. Again, welcome to Red Flags, where we just not get at others, but we get at ourselves for not paying attention. Hello, somebody. We're here. We're a couple of minutes in, and let's go. Come on. 718-622-2674. Or if you want to leave something to, allow me to see that you're in, view and got a question, you can type it on Facebook. I'm not getting my Instagram right now, and TikTok. I can't see that at the moment either, but if this is the one I got, this is the one I'm going to use. Hello, somebody. Love is an action word. Come on, somebody. So if a person is telling you they're going to try to get better or do better, what does that say? What does that say? Because action is doing. All right. So we want to get into that. We want to get to love being an action word. So if a person is telling you they're going to try to get better or do better, what does that say? Because action is doing, right? So I had to do my homework quite naturally, to make sure that we're on point. Hello, somebody, come on now. I had to make sure that I could speak to you, and it be some reality, right? Because I heard that love is not a vibe. I heard that love is a verb. Come on, somebody, talk to me. It's your boy. We're gonna go there. I've been trying to. We 4 shows in, officially 4 shows in. Come on, somebody. I'm happy because I come to you with joy. Come on. We're 4 shows in, and love is not a vibe. It's a verb, right? And so love is not just a feeling, it's doing. Words like I try and stuff like that. What is it really good for? You know what I mean? I don't believe they hold weight until you see the change. Come on, somebody. Real love shows up in consistency, sacrifice, accountability, and effort. And a lot of times, I don't think we're paying attention to the effort or accountability or the consistency or the sacrifice, right? Because these things are things that matter, not eventually, but in real time as you're going through it. So if you're going through something with somebody and, it's not really manufacturing, the better parts of what you feel you should have. Blessings, Big Kenneth Rithy. Oh man, my man Kenneth Ricketts. Oh man, I gotta shout you out. Sam, big brother Sam, I love you, bro. Ricketts, I'm gonna call you. Sam, we got to get together when you come to New York again. So stop playing, all right? You keep coming in and coming out like you ain't got to stop. But it's good. That's family right there. But yeah, we're talking about how love shows up in consistency, sacrifice, accountability, and effort. Like, you're going through some things with some people, and a lot of times it's all about, somebody telling you about, forgive me and I'm sorry and things of that nature. But what consistency are you seeing in the love that you're supposedly receiving from that guy? What consistency are you seeing from the love that you're receiving from that girl? You have to ask yourself this, right? Because again, back to one of our other shows, what you're seeing is what you're allowing yourself to receive from them. So you can't be mad at them that you've allowed them a space to be consistent and dropping off whatever they're dropping off. Come on. If they're not sacrificing for you, if they're not pushing other things to the side for you, you need to question that, right? And why are you allowing that, right? You can't make them do anything, but at the end of the day, you're the individual who have to make reality of you allowing them to be consistent and not doing what you need for yourself. See, I'm not even going to say what should be happening because that's what you should be doing. I'm saying in terms of what it is that you need from that person. This relationship would work. I like her or I like him, but it would be based on them giving me this. If I can get this from them, it's like when you go buy a car, man, if that car can get through the snow, I want it because I'm in a snow climate. If that car can get through the rocks, I want it because I'm in a climate of, wild nature, rocks, off-road. You have to be realistic to yourself. Come on, somebody. That's reality. You must be realistic. And the effort. How hard are they trying to give you what you need? Come on, somebody. You gotta count these things in. Just can't count them out. So that's what we're thinking about when we think about love and it being a verb and things of that nature, right? And just remember, trying isn't doing. It's not. You can say what you want to say. Trying isn't doing. I'll try is a stall. They stalling on you. Come on, somebody. I'm doing is progress. I'm trying. They stalling on you. Yeah, I'm trying. No, I'm trying. No, but ain't nobody seeing nothing. That's just their mouth moving. Okay. I'm doing is progress, and you can actually see the results of someone doing. Come on. If someone says they'll try to love you better, you got to ask them, well, what are you doing to do that? Because obviously I'm not seeing it that they're saying it. Come on, somebody. Is it just me? Reality check. A lot of times it's us not putting in the right emphasis on what it is we're receiving. and what we're allowing ourselves to not receive. Come on now. Funny thing is, right? They say Jesus didn't try to save, he did. He did. Jesus didn't try to save, he did. And that's the model of action driven love, right? When you look it up, you go anywhere with it. Action driven love is someone doing it for you, doing it to you, not just sex, and not just even in a financial situation with some relationships and what have you. You just don't want it to be that, there's money being given up, there's a monetary value, but there's nothing else. Come on, somebody. um there's no consistency of a emotional thing, mental thing. Some women and some men need to be stimulated mentally. They need to be good conversations, conversations of interest. Let's talk about it. The biggest joke back in the 70s was how you gonna lay with that white girl or that white dude, and you got soul glow, and they got something else for their hair. What y'all talking about? But nowadays we know that's not the case. But one of the big ones, you know, intent without action is just a dream. Let's just keep it a stack. It's just a dream, and no one is really benefiting from that. And you need to ask yourself that. Love that lives in only in someone's mouth, but not their moves, isn't love. It's manipulation or procrastination. Back to stalling. It's in their mouth, but it's not in their deeds. It's not in their actions. And so you need to question this. People don't come to it like that in terms of checking it out, checking for the traps, as we used to say, right? You have to check out the things that you require, right? So that's getting back to knowing you, which we said we'll do a class on that later, because a lot of us are just walking around and we don't know us. We don't know who we are. We don't understand, what it is that we need or we want most often. And so that comes back to that. But you got to ask yourself, are they changing, or are they just calming you down with promises? Is the conversation really coming up that the things that you require are happening, or are they just skimming along peaks of things that are coming through their mouth, but not their deeds and actions? Big brother L, I see you. Blessings, beloved. Love you. Thank you for checking in, man. One of my co-conspirators right there. We get it in. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for having good people around deep within, your immediate circle. But you have to ask yourself, are they changing, or are they just calming you down with promises? Because that's relative, because how long will you go with that? How long will you go with them just promising you things, but nothing's materializing? And this, but again, we're back to you allowing it. It's not the person doing it to you unless they got you strapped to a chair. Come on, somebody. If they ain't got you strapped to a chair, then it's you allowing it. And a lot of us, have to be truthful and honest that it's us. It's us allowing it. Come on, somebody. You can be mad, like I say all the time, but who you mad at? Because they're going to do, if you stand there and let somebody slap you, they're going to keep slapping you if slapping you makes them feel good. Hello, somebody. So what you gonna do? That's really the mode of operation is understanding yourself and what you require. All right. And then we look at love requires movement, right? So we were speaking a lot about that, right? Real love looks like making time and taking responsibility and apologizing. Do they apologize? Come on, somebody. And changing, showing up when it's hard. Like, it's anybody can do anything when it really doesn't matter that they do it. It doesn't affect the price of tea in China in their world. So in, your world, is the person doing something, is the guy doing something, is the girl doing something, and they need to be doing something else or should be doing something else, but yet they took out time for you. Come on, I'm trying to see if we can deal with the scales, the weights, the balances of what we're dealing with, what we're seeing. Come on, somebody. And like I said, whenever you feel good about it, chime in, 718-622-2674. If you got a question about, something that you're seeing, that you're witnessing, because this show, Red Flags, is about us communicating to get resolve or understanding on what we're doing, more so what we're allowing, not what other people are doing, because people got the right to be them. Now, how much of them you allow in your life? Come on now, come on. But back to the topic, right? A lot of times, trying can be a trap. Think about it. Trying can be a trap. People say, I'm trying as a way to buy time while doing nothing. You've been at the job. Come on, somebody. You've been at the job and you telling the boss, yeah, I'm getting to it. Yeah, I'm working that out. I'm over here right now. But the boss ain't really seen you do nothing. You just running your mouth. And before you know it, it's time to clock out. And you like, yeah, tomorrow maybe I can get to it a little better. That's reality. What we are doing and allowing, and now the shoe is on the other foot. The woman is, sitting there and she's buying time on you. She ain't doing nothing that she promised she said she was going to do, nothing that you done spoke to her 10 times about doing that you require of her in your life. Come on, somebody. And likewise with the guy, the guy is the same thing. He's sitting there and he's not doing any of it. And that's scary. That's very scary, because now we're in a position that everybody's promising, but no one's holding nobody accountable to not promising. Come on, somebody. Come on. That's a thought. That's a conversation. If they love you, they won't just try. That's what a person would say who's deep in who they are. They'll start doing, even if it's messy or slow. I know that for fact, because it was messy, in situations that I've encountered myself in my time, and even with it being messy, I still had to endure. I still had to do whatever I can do. I still had to make my slow steps of endearment. And so, to speak to somebody or to speak to people about these things so that they can, I see you, El, so that they can really understand that what it is that people are facing. Most often, we won't come to a place to reason with one another, to have sound advice, right? But we'll go to a club. We'll go to the corner. We'll go to Shanita's house. We'll go to, Shakim's crib, and we'll do all these things. And nothing's really going on there but hanging out and talking about other people or doing, the casual things. But yet, our personal lives are hurting. They're being affected by negativity, and to seek out, because some people don't want to go to the church. Hello, somebody. As a prophet and a bishop, I know people don't want to go to the church a lot of times for various reasons. Sometimes, people don't like going to see counselors, and so the outlet to speak to somebody to gain sound advice and hearing the situation, not to give resolve, because I don't want to tell nobody what to do. I just would like to speak to a person to make them look at it differently, reason with it from another point of view. And if that works, great. If it don't, it was a step up from just sitting in the bucket by yourself, moping on the inside while everybody's looking at you. Big C, I see you, big brother C. Thanks for tuning in. I like to do that. That's a part of me that I like to speak and recognize my people. But more so than anything else, this is something that we have to, do a reflection of. Are you loving actively? You have to say that to yourself. Are you doing that? Don't just hold others to these things that you are looking at. Like I said, red flags is not just a situation where we're looking at, the other person, I feel for what it's worth, I'm looking at us. I want to look at me. I want to look at, I want you to look at you, because I think in that you can see where the red flags didn't really exist until you allowed them. That's more that accountability and things of that nature. People are going to always say I'm doing better, and they avoid the action because they're not being held to a principle. They're not being held to a standard, and so in that, yes, brother L, love is shown through action. That's right. That's where we are. But it starts with you. Come on, somebody. It starts with you loving yourself enough to know that I'm not going to allow someone to treat me other than. I'm not going to allow someone to give me less than. Come on now. It's something to think about. It's something that you have to say to yourself, because if it begins and ends with you, right? The girl and the guy, he's just walking along, spitting his game, whatever. And she has to agree to the game he's spitting. Come on, somebody. You know, um, the girl, she doing her 1-2s, just being cute and everything. And the guy, has to agree to her beauty or her type of cuteness being something that he likes or wants. Come on now. So it's always on the individual who's sitting there and allow these things in their life, who allows situations. That's 100%. No one wants to do the work. Thank you, brother. That's in the nutshell right there. No one wants to do the homework. I think we said that in the first or second show. No one wants to really dig deep and find out who the other person is. And I'm not talking about going on so illiterate, and I mean that lacking knowledge. They're gonna go on social media and say, I looked him up on social media. No. You gotta you gotta go and spend time with this person and talk with this person and reason with this person. Look at what their interests are. Look at what, not even what their past life is or what their future life could be, but just in the now. What are they thinking? What are they looking for? What are they running from? Because then, we're in a position where we're, checking out these things, and they are allowing us to go inward into the other individual, male into female, female into male, that you can see them now. You can see them, you can see who they are. They can't hide it, because no matter where you go, there you are. You know what I mean? I can move to Australia, but I'm still gonna be me in Australia, because I'm bringing me. And so people can't hide them. It's just that we don't ask the right questions. It's just that we don't really take time to get into that investigation of having those conversations, of knowing a person, so that even if something goes wrong, you have that to fall back on, and then to say, all right, if we choose to move forward, I have a backdrop to place this against, because we don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, and to err is human, right? We learn that if you make a mistake, then all right, you are solidified, you are human. But more importantly, the reality that mistake shouldn't be continuous, that mistake shouldn't be consistent. And that's the part that I hope that I'm plucking your nerves on, to realize that you're allowing someone to be consistent in their mistakes with you, consistent with showing up short for you, consistent with not loving you the way you want to be loved. So I mean, closed mouth can't get fed, closed fist can't receive nothing. And so that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at, we haven't done the work and trusted in ourselves to do the work. The dumbest question is the one not asked. So if you feel like you need to know something more than what you know to get to a space or place, you got to open your mouth. You got to speak to people. What my man said, loving you can never be wrong unless you are only a possession. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If it's heartfelt, definitely, brother. If it's heartfelt, it's it's not wrong. It's just how do we make this right for me? you know um because nothing is perfect, nothing is a perfect fit, right? And so when we look at meshing worlds together, you have to keep in mind that that person has a whole entity to themselves, that they are, that makes them human, that makes them alive, that makes her a woman, that makes him a guy. And you're trying to mesh these two worlds. If you didn't give room for the worlds to collide, I don't know what to tell you. Real talk, because at the end of the day, the worlds are going to collide. So that means that there's going to be debris. That means that there's going to be some mess within it, around it. And it could be good mess. It doesn't have to be bad mess. It could be good mess because you're bringing things together and you're constructing something that's supposed to be beautiful. But yeah, let's look at, the fact that love is an action word. It's a verb. Come on, somebody. I'm trying to get us there. I'm trying to get us there, that we really take it into an account, right? You know, just you have to be clear in your movement. You have to be clear. A lot of times we communicate, but we don't communicate directly. We skim over. A lot of people, in our day and age, I'm seeing now more than before. When I was younger, maybe I just didn't pay attention. And I'm more keen to looking at those things now. A lot of people, don't want to be spoken to about bettering themselves, speaking about who they are and what really moves them and how does it actually work and things of that nature. A lot of people don't want that. They just want to skim along, party, and like Biggie say, BS, party and BS and party, and that's okay, But do you fit that resume? Is that you? Because if that's not you, then you need to get away from them. Not because they're bad, because it's just not you. It's okay to realize if something's not you. Like, stop taking on this thing, this thing that doesn't relate to anything, doesn't change the price of tea in China, and put that down and deal with reality. Does that work for me? Does how he brushes teeth work for me? Does how she paint her toenails work for me? Does how he chew? Does how she walk around looking mess? All these things, because you can get into something for one reason and then find yourself in it and realize there's a few reasons why I shouldn't be here. Hello, somebody. Love is communication that's complex, but showing how you feel through action as opposed to talking. Talk is cheap. Yes, indeed. And that's exactly what we're saying, and some people don't want to speak, period. Yes, brother. Yes, yes. People will hide things from you. And it's the saddest piece, because then you say to yourself, you're sabotaging the relationship, the promise of the relationship, the hope of the relationship. If you come into a relationship and you're closed off, right? Okay, one mistake, you want to fall back, you want to look cool, but you still have to continue on the journey or just walk away, because it's not going to get no better if you keep being in the same space that you're in, talking about you going forward, but you holding back. If the circumstance doesn't allow you to go forward, then it's okay. You're human. No one's going to be mad at you. You couldn't go forward. The circumstance does not allow me to go forward. I'm going to have to respectfully decline. You know what I'm saying? That saves us from the heartache later. Come on now. Yes, that is true. The path of least resistance, actually. So, the consistency of error, the consistency of manipulation, the consistency of being quiet and not speaking, and the bad communication. That's what we have to think about, to pay attention to in these relationships and these marriages, because there's so many relationships and marriages where people are not doing these things, and then they walk around. This is the part, oh my God, bringing me back to episode 3, and then walk around mad at the other person. How? How you walking around mad at everybody else and you ain't on point? You ain't doing what you need to do. Come on, somebody. You ain't making this right. You ain't putting this together. I see you, sis. What's good, Meech? Love you, girl. Thanks for tuning in. You're not doing it. Come on, somebody. You're not doing it. How is it that you're not doing what's required of you as a human being, as an individual, as the male to the female to the male, and yet you want to talk about everybody else? Thank you, sister. Yes, bless the Lord. Hello. um, I don't like to hear people talk about people if you ain't did what you were supposed to do, so that conversation doesn't exist. Hello, somebody. That conversation need not exist if you are open and thorough with your thoughts, your communication, and your sound reasoning to know that you may not get the answer at that moment, but if you put it out there, now it has a chance to come back. Thank you, sis. Yes, very much so. But if you never put it out there, how are you supposed to get it back? If you never speak openly, if you never speak clearly, if you never speak direct, because I don't care what alphabet you're going from A to, whether it's A to B to A to K to A to J, A to whatever, the straightest path is straight. The quickest way is straight. So you going around and all that, I don't know what you're going to get with that, but a lot of people talk like that. A lot of people work like that, and they find themselves to be in a position where they're comfortable with that. And again, I only can say that this is what we are allowing. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. I just want to help, sis. I hope it's all right. AB Money, Rep, I see you. The last one to work with Miles Davis, my man with the Grammy on the wall. I see you, boy. I just want to be clear that we understand moving into, whatever space we're in right now in a relationship or a marriage, that we are clear that love is an action word. It's a verb. It's about doing, the I'll try, I'm getting to it doesn't do anything for anybody. And if you're allowing someone to say that to you one time too many, who's at fault? You mad at the person? Again, you can't be mad at somebody that you're allowing to come into your world and do these things. Guy to girl or girl to guy. Because I know a lot of guys that allow them chicks to go ahead and do whatever to them. Talking about, what? What? You can go make love to anybody. You paying for this chick everything. You got this chick living in your crib and all this craziness, and she's just totally disrespecting you. And you doing all that because of what? What you doing it for? Because now you looking soft to your boys, and they just ain't saying nothing to you. I'm just telling the truth the way I see it. And homegirl, you out of pocket. Why you letting that guy come in like that, and he ain't showing you the bare minimum of what it takes, that if he looked like if he, is going to bust a move or he's on top, that it would bless you. What is he doing that's coming back your way, that's making it good for you? So I'm saying we have to do this. Do we stop loving because I'm not looking for the return, but I am looking for the growth? Well, believe it or not, that's a good question. But the reality is the return is the growth. Thank you. I like that. See, when it's live and direct, it's a beautiful thing. The return is actually the growth. You don't have, we're not doing it because we want something. Great question. But the reality is we're doing it because reciprocation, right? Is I give, you give, right? The earth, the fullness thereof, it gives, we give, but it's got to be a situation where it evens out so that life can exist. Come on, somebody. Come on. Negative and positive energy running together makes current that we can use. Come on, somebody. And so, yes, the return is the growth, because in the return, you see what a person is willing to do. Did I hit that, Brother L? In the return, you see what a person is willing to do to keep this relationship, to make this relationship grow, or to show you that they're growing with you. Come on, somebody. To show you that they're growing with you. How you going to have evidence of someone growing with you, male or female, female or male, if there's no return on the kiss you gave on the cheek? If there's no return on, I spoke about, the intimate things of my heart, from back when, that allowed me to be who I am and get to where I'm going. And they never come back with the same things. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt that a person held back. You have people in life who tell half stories, right? They didn't tell the whole truth. They didn't tell, and when we say the whole truth, it's not truth to me, it's just truth about the story they were telling. You have a lot of people that do that, and they're masquerading. They're masquerading. And when those situations go horribly wrong, they can't be mad at nobody but themselves because they told half a truth. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. I want you to really realize that you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. I hope that resonates with some people because the reality is, what they're gonna let you get away with in France, they're not gonna let you get away with in Jamaica. Um, there you go, brother. Action always returns to the actions. Yes, it does. It's reciprocating. You know what I'm saying? That's why, the movement. Yeah, brother Stevens. Ooh, all right. All the heavy hitters is here tonight. Thank you for tuning in, beloved. We're going to remember that, at the end of the day, what works in France doesn't work in Japan. What works in Indonesia doesn't work, in Brooklyn. And so, you have to take into account who you're doing what with, how you're doing it. I'm blessed, beloved. Thank you, brother. All right. Oh, there go House just checked in. Wow, it's heavy hitters on the line tonight. Yes, House, you missed the good part, but you can rewind. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, but we have to pay attention to those things. What's happening here doesn't work there, and so therefore we have to be on point with knowing what we're dealing with and who we're dealing with. And so that comes back to communication, of course. People not communicating thoroughly, directly, and clearly. We spoke about the fact that love is an action word, it's a verb, and what we're allowing, is something that we have to keep into the deepest consideration, what we allow people to bring into our world. Come on, you can't be mad at them for being who they are. You didn't check for the traps. Come on, somebody. That's right. You are what you do, not what you say, for sure, for sure. And so at the end of the day, I just want to, give a little clarity tonight on the fact that, we are allowing things. Come on, somebody. We are allowing people to be in spaces and places with us that need not be. Come on. They didn't earn it. They don't deserve it. Yes, be mindful of everything, Brother Stevens. That's right. And you have to be at some point, because let me tell you, I know you're getting away with it today, but it's going to come back to you tomorrow. Life going to come get its. It's going to come get it. It's going to come get its every time. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you stupid. And I'm just praying that I can give you sound advice on how to, nudge yourself into a place where you're more in control of what you're allowing into your world, what you're allowing people to do to you. And for you to recognize and take accountability that it's you. It's you that's letting her run all over you. It's you that's letting this guy just bang out all over you. It's you that's letting your girlfriend do this. It's you that's letting your homeboy do that. Stop it. Come on, somebody. Come on, you got to stop it. And I'm praying that you get the strength and, the wisdom to do so within yourself, for yourself, because, the worst thing in the world is you going to bed at night and lying to yourself that everything's all right. And it's not. Come on, somebody. It's not. It's not all right. So, and tonight, I like where we are. It's our fourth show. Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. Red flags, and tonight was love is an action word. So if a person is telling you they're going to try to get better or do better, what does that actually say? And, we went through some points to, figure that out. And then they were good points. I'm grateful because action is doing, and we got to understand and, a little bit better what action really should look like and how you should be, judging the action for yourself based on what you want, not what your girlfriend want, not what your homeboy said, but what you want. Come on, somebody. And so, we're going to do this. We're going to keep doing this as long as I can. We're going to have these shows and we're going to keep moving, speaking about the things that affect us as a people. Definitely in these relationships and these marital situations and just as people in general, do what you do, don't let it do you. The Colgate comes out because I love you, but it's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush, and this is Red Flags. And always remember, you can call in anonymously and just say what you got to say or ask your questions. 718-622-2674. It'll be on the broadcast. We're dealing with a few technical issues, lately with my computer and things not jiving up the way, it was meant to. But it's all good. We're getting to a better place. But we got the fourth show in, and I want you to know, thank you for tuning in. Bless you. I appreciate you. Spread the love. Let them know there's somebody out there giving good advice, not telling nobody what to do, because you are your own individual. Hello, somebody. All right, it's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush, and this is Red Flags. And, do what you got to do, Don't let it do you. It's the truth. All right? Love always,